What's a song you love from a genre you don't? Electric Avenue from whatever the frick genre that is. Toxic transcends all genre. That song frickin' rips. The song is one part Bond Girl's Fantasy and one part vodka lime slushy. Helena, My Chemical Romance. I'm a massive hip-hop, R&B fan, so I'm still confused as to why I have always loved this song. Also a hip-hop guy and would up picking up their discography. There's some true gems like Sharpest Leaves in there. Black Parade is an excellent album. They kill it in the music video. Mr. Sandman by the Chordettes. Maybe my meme side kicking in. Mr. Sandman, man me a sand. Make him the cutest man car door hook hand. Give him 2 hands, like Sanses and Hanses. Then tell him that his Sans and Mans are Hanses. Warren G, Regulate. I like hard rock, metal, but I really like Regulate. I usually only listen to punk, hard rock, etc., but for some reason really enjoy listening to Troye Sivan from time to time. Even bought his CD. Blue Neighborhood is a 10 out of 10 album. I used to really love Troye Sivan, played his music constantly. Then I got into a car crash with the quiet playing on the stereo. Absolutely haunting. Haven't been able to listen to his music since. My body just doesn't like it. I bought the Pearl Jam album 10 the day it was released. I was in a car crash on the way home and the song Even Flow was playing. I still like Pearl Jam and can listen to them in my home or even at a concert. But now I tense up and have a weird moment if that particular song comes on the car radio. Just the first couple notes will get to me and I will quickly switch radio stations. The first time it came on while my kids were in the car with me, about 25 years after the crash, I had a panic attack. It's crazy the connections your brain will make and maintain. Not a metal guy, but I like War Pigs. War Pigs is one of my favorite songs, it's incredible. Not a rap fan, but It Was a Good Day by Ice Cube was just too good. Not sure your preferred genres, but the original sample used for the beat in that song is called Footsteps in the Dark by the Isley Brothers. I'd call it a soul-type song, so it may or may not be up your alley. If it is, I recommend listening to the rest of Isley Brothers' discography. It's excellent. Regardless, It Was a Good Day is a great song. Isley Brothers seem to get sampled quite a bit in rap and hip-hop. One of my favorites is Notorious B.I.G., Big Papa. Sampling the Isley Brothers is Between the Sheets. Both great songs. The Devil Went Down to Georgia. Soul Meets Body by Death Cab for Cutie. 14-year-old me leaves for this song. The line is that song. I cannot guess what we'll discover as we turn the dirt with our arms cupped like shovels. But I know our filthy hands can wash one another and not one speck will remain. After all the mistakes I've made in life and love, it gives me hope for myself that few things do. I think about it often. Death Cab for Cutie and Ben's side project, the Postal Service, are my lifey. I listen to that Postal Service album the most to help calm me down from a panic attack. Magical. I'm not a big country fan, but I'll stop and listen to most any song by Dolly Parton. I don't like country either, but holy hell can that lady can sing and write. Her storytelling is fantastic. She said in a Rolling Stone interview, I believe it was about 200 years ago, that her cherry was pushed so far back that she was using it for a tail light. That's some good storytelling right there. What a Man from Salt and Pepa. None of your business from Salt and Pepa. Shoop is my shit, not you. The bow-legged one. Introducing Salt, and Pepper. Rasputin, Boney M, and a lot of ABBA songs. I'm more of a classic rock, hair metal person, but ABBA has some killer songs. And I like Boney M cause of that Just Dance game. I requested ABBA at a goth club I visited, and watching a bunch of black-clad, corseted, pierced, spike-coated goths go absolutely berserk with excitement over ABBA was a spiritual experience. Wow, that's amazing. Who wouldn't react well over ABBA? Joy Division, My Chemical Romance. I'm not really into MCR, but I like this one. Disenchanted from Black Parade is a really nice song if you're into slower and nicer sounding songs. That was my favorite song from that album. Still emo message, but has a nice relaxing guitar to it. Wasn't expecting MCR right off the bat, but great. I personally can't think of a bad My Chem song, LOL. Forgot About Dre, Dr. Dre and Eminem. Bulletproof by Laru. I didn't know my answer, then I read this. Electropop? More specifically synth pop. I've been hunting really hard for similar sounding songs, but a lot of electropop, synth pop songs don't sound like that, unfortunately. This is my favorite genre. Stuff that's related would be The Knife, The Blow, Fever Ray, Fisher Spooner, Royal Sop, Hot Chip, The Presets, Robin, Santigold, FC Kahuna, Sap, Tele Pop Music, Beck's newest album Hyperspace, Crystal Castles, Beach House, Home, look for the album Odyssey, Chi, look for the album Colores, Freeza Pop, Z-Jest, Lometra, the album Leaf, The Golden Filter, Ostra. If you know anything related, let me know. I'm always looking for new stuff to listen to. Ring of Fire, Johnny Cash. And I intensely dislike country music, but I love this song. For the longest time I said I hated country, but would make an exception for Johnny Cash. Then I added Silly Nelson to the exception list, then Dolly Parton. Then I eventually admitted that modern country is trash, and I did in fact like country, just good country. But Johnny Cash was what made me look for good country. Silly Nelson, frick it, I'm keeping it. I like God's Gonna Cut You Down. I'm an atheist, but I really like this evocative, storytelling part of religion. It's more like a ghost story than anything. The narrator is warning immoral people that divine judgment is coming their way, kinda like Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction. Don't really care for boy bands, but I Want It That Way is great. Tell me why. I need another pet rock. Tell me why. I got that Alpha Alarm Clock. I love how everyone hates country, but has one country song they love. I'll jam out to most 90s country, but I couldn't tell you if that's because I like it or because it's what was my parents' radio growing up. Except Alan Jackson. Das good shit. Yeah, way down yonder on the Chattahoochee. It gets hotter than a hoochie coochie, dude. Neon Moon by Brooks and Dunn. Holy shit. Takes me back to being a little kid riding around in my dad's truck in the summer. Sticky Tennessee heat, catching fireflies, and hunting toads that would post up by our security light. So good. Ophelia by the Lumineers. I mostly listen to metal. You'd probably like Angela by them too. I write Sins Not Tragedies by Panic at the Disco. Goddamn, Panic at the Disco had one of the best freaking debut albums I've ever heard. Every song on A Fever You Can't Sweat Out was gold. And they were so young too. Just a lot of amazing talent wrapped up into one 13-track album. Guess I know what I'm listening to tomorrow. 15 years ago. Holy frick, time flies. I don't want to claim to be a great fan of theirs, but I've seen them live 3-4 times. I remember that album dropping in freshman year of high school, along with Hot Fuss and Can I's late registration album. I don't know why, but that window between 8th grade and 10th grade was pretty monumental for me and music. I was exposed to a ton of stuff I never had listened to. I do not have older siblings, and my parents didn't really listen to much music since mine and my sister's birth. 2004 to 2007 were huge musical years for me, and it helped prepare me for my college years 2009 to 2013, where I dove into dozens and dozens of new genres. If you ever have even the slightest bit of interest in checking out more, that song is off of A Fever You Can't Sweat Out and is probably one of the worst songs on that album. Try out Build God, Then We'll Talk, or just the back half of the album, because it's basically I Write Sins, but better. I want to elaborate for up. The album is deliberately split in 2 parts, literally in the middle of the intermission track. The first half is very electronic and modern, for 2005, and the second half is very, I think the word is, vaudeville. The whole album is great, but I think pretty much everyone finds the second half to be the better and more timeless half. I don't think I Write Sins is the worst on the album, but it is probably the weakest on that second half. And yet, I'm seconding Build God, Then We'll Talk, because that track is incredible. I'm a metalhead, but goddammit, Lady Gaga has some fire songs. Poker Face is my jam, fellow metalhead, and I absolutely love Lady Gaga. I also really love Adele and Lana Del Rey. They all just have really powerful voices and a truck full of talent. I also really love big metal voices like Bruce Dickinson, Rob Halford, Matthias Blatt, Rhodey Walker, and Matt Barlow. I think that has something to do with it. Starboy by The Weeknd. The Weeknd always makes me feel so cool, but man does he make it sound good. Sweet Child of Mine. How did Guns N' Roses pull this one out? I have almost no desire to listen to Drake, but I really like Passion Fruit. Not a huge Drake fan either outside of a few songs, but Passion Fruit and Hold On, We're Going Home are 2 solid singles. I like when he leans more into deep house and R&B. It just seems to suit him more in my opinion. Any song on Golden Hour by Casey Musgraves. I Am a Man of Constant Sorrow, Soggy Bottom Boys, a country song. Country isn't awful, I just don't listen to it much. We thought you was a toad. CRUNNOFT. Damn. We're in a tight spot. Oh brother, where art thou? Soundtrack Chef's Kiss. I am a die-hard metalhead. Have been since the 80s when I was old enough to start listening to my own music. 2 songs I really dig for whatever reason that is completely atypical. God. I can't believe I am about to admit this. Bop by Hanson. Ooh La La by Goldfrapp. Metal. Rock. Rap guy here. I like Toxic by Britney Spears and Applause by Lady Gaga. Toxic is such a good song, I'll freely admit. The first step to being a true man is admitting that Toxic is an objectively great song. Friends in Low Places by Garth Brooks. At least I think that's the name of the song. I really don't like country music. Really don't like it. But this song makes me nostalgic for people and places I don't even know. This shit sets off every redneck wedding reception. It gets so hype,